morning, boys and girls. This is Amy Kuhn, the speech language pathologist here at Lakemary, and behind the video is Misty Brown. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. We sure do miss you. So we're going to try to put the July 27th, the week of July 27th, group activity on YouTube. So that's what we're going to do today. The book that we're going to read today is called Nonsense and is written by Sally Collar Phillips. And so we got 3 things that we'd like to work on today. We're going to read the book. We're going to sequence, so pay attention to the different animals and what they're doing in this book. As well as then we're going to try to follow some directions to make our cactus. Okay? So I want you guys to follow along. So right now you need to grab your communication board. Okay, this will assist us with answering questions, whether it's WH questions, which is who, what, when, where, why. This will also help us with yes and no questions, as well as for those students that are really working on expanding their utterances, expanding their sentence length and such. We can put words into sentences here with our communication board. So go ahead and grab that out of your packet. Again, this is for the week of July 27th. All right, this is called Nonsense. Okay. What would you say if dogs grew on trees? If rhinos could fly? Okay, so what are these animals up in the tree? We'll come over to our board and they might point to dog. Again, you may have to hide to where they have less choices if you need to. Okay, maybe cover these up. All right. So if they chose the dog, you say, yeah, that's right. I see the dog. Okay. What animal did they hope could fly? Okay, we'll look over here. Do we have rhino up here? Oh, who can find the rhino? Here's the rhino. I see the rhino. And chickens laid cheese. Okay, so what is laying cheese? What animal is that? It's a chicken. Do chickens really lay cheese? And again, you can go to the yes and no at the bottom, and we'll say no. Okay, and what would you say to a bat with a hat? What would you say about that? Nonsense, you'd say. It's an excellent word when you know something's really absurd. What would you say if mice lived on stars? Do mice live on stars? No, they don't live on stars. Okay. And what would you say if rabbits read books? And birds played guitars. Do birds play guitars? Again, you go over to your communication board and say, no, they don't play guitars. Do you play a guitar? So again, this could be the yes and no. If a kiddo has a guitar at home and they like to play it, so they get to be saying yes. And what would you say if a goldfish grew peas? What would your answer be, please? Okay, so what is growing peas in the fishbowl? Fish. I see a fish. Nonsense, you'd say. It's a good word to know when you're sure something just isn't so. What would you say if pigs could sew quilts? Okay, who's sewing quilts? The pig is. Would you say if turtle gave teas? Do you drink tea? Again, we can work on the yes and no. And fish walked on stilts. And what would you say to a camel in snow? What would you say? Do you know? Nonsense, you'd say, is the word to declare when you know something's false or unfair. And what will you say if you're ever told that you're not good enough, or you're dim or too bold, or you're not very special, you're strange or too shy? What will you say in reply? Will you sniffle and sigh and assume that they're right? Will you kick? Will you cry? And perhaps pick a fight? Of course not. Instead, you'll know just what to do when you hear something truly untrue. Nonsense. You'll say, shout it out loud, shout it far, only you can decide who you are. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that book. It's pretty short, so we're going to work on our next two items of our group. So we'll come on over here to the table, Misty. What you will need to get is a glue stick. You want to get your sequencing sheet that has numbers 1 through 8. Also in your baggie, you should have some paper clipped pictures. So I'm going to grab those out of the baggie here. And I'm going to undo the paper clip and put our pictures out to where we can see them. And if you need to sit or whatever, feel free. Okay, so I always ask the kids, Miss Misty and I always ask the kids to make sure that they count, that we have, we have to have 8 pictures, so we want to make sure that we've counted 8 pictures because sometimes we forget to include a picture or sometimes we give too many. So we're going to count them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I will bring the communication board down here. And do we have 8 pictures? And we can say yes. Okay. So now I'm going to open up the book. I'm going to try to kind of follow along here. And I will try to describe an animal and see if you guys can find it. So we can glue it down. So in our story, at the very beginning, let's see. There was an animal that we said, what would you say if this animal grew on trees? So this is an animal that has 4 legs, a tail, tends to be a pet for some, and says woof woof. So for some of our students, because 8 pictures is too many, we might just bring down 3 pictures for them to choose from. Okay, so again, what animal has 4 legs, a tail that wags when it's happy or excited and says woof woof? Hopefully they pick the dog. And so you can glue the dog on the paper. So we glue it. Okay. I'm thinking you guys can glue. Again, pause the video and or, to ask the questions and or take the time to glue. We're not going to go ahead and glue that today. All right, the next one. Let's see, we had rhinos flying and an animal that was going to lay some cheese, which we thought was really absurd. So again, I'm going to give 3 choices of animals. And this animal has feathers. It lives on a farm. And it might say cluck, cluck. And it gives us eggs, not cheese. What animal is this? Hopefully you chose the chicken. All right, so then you will glue that on number 2. Okay, as we are going along, again, I'm going to add another picture down here. So we have 3 choices. We had an animal that we said, what would you say if they lived on stars? Okay, this is an animal. It's a small little animal. He has a tail and loves to eat cheese. Okay, and cats love to chase after him. So what animal would you say that is? Say the mouse. All right. We got 3 more pictures again to choose from. This one we were talking about if the animals, these specific animals read books. This is the animal with tall ears. It's got fluffy fur. Loves to eat carrots. We might see them outside. Okay, hopefully you chose the bunny or the rabbit. All right. So again, these are pretty absurd, aren't they? Something that we wouldn't think would happen. Then we talked about if birds played guitars. And then we had an animal that lived in water. And we said, what would you say if they grew peas? This is the animal that lives in water that has fins and a tail. And hopefully you chose the fish. Again, that only leaves us with 3 pictures left. Okay. We're going to follow along again. We talked about the word nonsense. And then we talked about an animal that, what would we say if they could sew some quilts? This is an animal, again, that can be found on the farm. They are usually pink in color, and they love to play in mud. Okay, hopefully you chose the pig. All right, so now we have 2 pictures left and 2 animals. And this specific animal, we said, what would you say if they gave tea to drink? This is an animal that has a shell on its back. Again, this could be an animal that some people have for a pet. Okay, hopefully you chose the turtle. So it only leaves 1 animal, and hopefully our kiddo can name the animal. This is the animal that we usually find in the desert that has 1 or 2 humps, and that is the camel. So you will glue those items down. If you have a writing utensil nearby, you can write their name. They can practice writing their name, or if you have your stamp. All right, so that concludes number 2 of what we were working on, which was the sequencing, putting things in order. So you guys were finding the items of the animals that I was describing. And so the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to make this Cactus Craft, but we have to follow directions for that. So what you will do now, move these out of the way. You're going to grab your baggie of items. There should be a cactus that was paper clipped in your packet, and then a blue piece of paper. Okay. I'm going to get, and we can put that up there. We'll see how long that stays up there. All right, so number 1, we are to get the blue piece of paper. So hopefully have your kiddo get the blue piece of paper. I think we're going to go ahead and take the items out of our baggie. Okay. Number 2, it says glue on the pot. So we glue it. Okay, we're going to let you take the time to glue it because we actually are going to probably use this when we have the group on that week of the 27th. So we'll at least show you what we're going to do with these things. Okay, so we're going to glue the pot. On our example, we tend to have the pot towards the bottom of the page. So you might ask your child, where's the bottom of the blue piece of paper? Is this the bottom or is this the bottom? Okay, hopefully it shows this part down here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just have them tell you where they want to glue the pot, or have, go ahead and put some glue on the back of it. Put the glue all over the back of it, hand it to them, and have them put it on the paper. Okay? Next, we're going to glue the cactus on top of the pot. Is this the top or is this the top? Okay, they're going to grab the cactus. Again, assist them with putting glue all over it. And again, they can put it on top of the pot. Again, if it's off to the side or however they put it, it is okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, next, it says choose a tissue paper color. So in your baggies, I believe we'll have 1 yellow, 1 red. Since our example has red, I'm going to go ahead and choose the yellow one. Okay, so you might have your kiddo get on your communication board. We have red and yellow as well, so they can say, I want yellow, please. So you give them the yellow. And number 5, it says roll the tissue paper into a ball. I'm just going to kind of scrunch it up. Okay, you guys can roll it up as you want. And it says glue the tissue paper on top of the cactus. Is this the top or is this the top? Have your child tell you which one it is, and then assist them with gluing the tissue paper at the top. Number 7, it says glue the googly eyes. So they need to come over to their items over here. Find the eyes, and you might ask them where they want the eyes glued. You can put the glue on the paper or on back of the eyes. If you're using glue stick, I'd probably put the glue on the cactus. If you have a liquid glue, then you might put it on the back of the eyes. So we'll put the googly eyes on. Again, pause the video if you need to so that you can take the time to glue it on. Okay. Number 8, it says glue I am special. So we're going to find that. And it says glue it on the bottom of the pot. So again, we could say, is this the bottom, or is this the bottom? Hopefully I tell you that this is the bottom. You'll glue that down there, and it says I am special. Because as we learned in our book in Nonsense, that we are special. And if anyone makes us not feel that way, you tell them they're nonsense. And the last thing that we have is draw a mouth on the cactus. So as I forgot to tell you, although it is on your piece of paper, you need some sort of writing utensil. Whether you use a marker or a pencil, you can draw. We like to do a smiley face because this is a happy book, okay? So you might draw the smiley face on it, okay? Pencil, marker, pen, whatever you guys have nearby. And then, of course, number 10 is to write name on top part of the pot, which we're talking about right here. As you see here, we wrote speech. Obviously, that's our department name, but have them write their own name. All right, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to write underneath the comments of the YouTube video. We'd love to hear from you. My email and phone number is also on the packet that we included, that we sent with you. So hope you guys are safe and healthy, and we'll see you as soon as school is returning, and not sure when that is, but hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.